We don't have converter aux to lightning, so we can connect in
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We'll just see the meaning of this song and then we'll start today's class. O fish like soul, why have you fallen into the entangling nets of Maya? You have not understood that being bound up by those nets, you will have to remain in this material world for a long, long time. After becoming captive in Maya's snare due to your
We cannot hear. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Mm,
Prabhuji, we are not able to hear.
and remembrance. Paribramita expanded from Hasa with great velocity. Bhaktya in devotion. Nirmatita subsided. Ashesha unlimited. Kashaya dirt. Dishnaha conception. Arjunaha Arjun. Translation. Arjuna's constant remembrance of the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna rapidly increased his devotion, and as a result, all the stress in the thoughts subsided. I think the echo is too much or the volume is too much. Purport. Material desires in the mind are the trace of material contamination. By such contamination, the living being is faced with so many compatible and incompatible things that discourage the very existence of spiritual identity. Birth after birth, the conditioned soul is entrapped with so many pleasing and displeasing elements, which are all false and temporary. They accumulate due to our reactions to material desires. But when we get in touch with the transcendental Lord in His variegated energies by devotional service, the naked form of material desires become manifest, and the intelligence of the living being is specified in its true color. I'll read it again. They accumulate due to our reactions to material desires, but when we get in touch with the transcendental Lord in His variegated energies, by devotional service, the naked form of all material desires become manifest, and the intelligence of the living entity is specified in its true color. As soon as Arjuna turned his attention towards the instructions of the Lord, as they are inculcated in Bhagavad Gita, his true color of eternal association with the Lord became manifest, and thus he felt freed from all material contaminations. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितं स नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरतुसे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्त नमस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा so we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam first canto 50th chapter verse number 29. So first we'll discuss the context, and then today's the major theme of our discussion is uh, the how the soul can be really satisfied when we turn towards Krishna. That's what Prabhupada is focusing. When the living entity is turning towards Krishna in devotional service, then the intelligence gets satisfied in its true color. Otherwise, the intelligence is not going to get satisfied. So, in the beginning of this chapter, actually, 15th chapter, 7th verse, Arjuna remembers or recalls all the great favors that were done actually by Lord Sri Krishna unto the lives of the Pandavas. So, the first incident that he remembers is actually the marriage incident. So, you all know that actually, the five Pandavas, they were in the exile, and at one point of time, Duryodhana sent out the five Pandavas saying that why don't you go for a picnic? There is a marriage ceremony that is going to take place in this particular place, and we have constructed a new house for you to go and stay there. And that house was made up of what? Lakshagra. It was molten, like it'll get very easily ignited actually, like that. So that's how actually the house was made. It is called Lakshagraha, Lak. Generally, actually, in the northern India, ladies they wear bangles actually. That is made up of this lak, and that gets ignited very quickly actually, like that. So that entire other till the time it is ignited, actually, it has a lot of strength. But once it is ignited, then it burns very quickly actually. The combustion is very high. in technical language actually. So that house was burnt and things like that. But then they did not go actually back to Hastinapur. Rather they went to forest along with Kunti Mata. So this time actually Kunti Mata goes with the five Pandavas for exile. When the Pandavas they go for 12 years of exile, that time Kunti Mata doesn't go for exile actually. So this is the time actually when Bhima meets Hidimba demon. Then Bhima meets even that Vrikasur demon also, whom he kills actually in uh, I think Ekachakra Dham actually. That was the place where they were staying, like that. So Arjuna remembers actually specifically the marriage ceremony. So in the marriage ceremony of Draupadi actually, Draupadi has organized this particular Swayamvara of Draupadi. In that many kings were invited, many Kshatriyas were invited. In fact, Karna was also there, Duryodhana was also there, Krishna was also there, Balram was also there. But Krishna and Balram they did not come to participate, to marry Draupadi, but rather they were invited actually as guests. But other many princes actually they came in order to participate, for the marriage ceremony or the Swayamvara of Draupadi. That time, actually, first, many Kshatriyas came, for picking up the Dhanus and then, putting the arrow actually in the eye of that, wooden bird, like that. So some of the Kshatriya, some of the principal princes, when they came actually in order to lift, the Dhanus that was kept, they were not able to lift. Before lifting only, they were falling. And they were fallen actually for quite some long time because they were exhausted actually because they were not able to pick up that. Then, Karna comes actually eventually. That time Draupadi says that, I don't want you to participate in this particular, Swayamvara because I don't, this is Swayamvara, my desire, so you are not qualified actually, like that. Then Karna becomes really angry and then gets out. That time then Duryodhana comes and he participates actually. So Duryodhana comes and he effortlessly picks up actually that, bow and arrow. And then as soon as that Dhanush is taken, then actually the rope is not tied. So that is called Pratyancha. So the Pratyancha was not tied. So Duryodhana very easily ties actually Pratyancha to this particular big bow that was given actually there by Drupad. And then he shoots the arrow. He concentrates for a long time and then shoots the arrow. And then he misses just by hairline actually. That much only he misses actually. And Duryodhana just laments like anything and then just gets out. Then, Drupad Maharaj was very much anxious that my daughter is not going to get married. And Duryodhana was the last Kshatriya actually to participate. And there was no other Kshatriya. So then Drupad said, is there nobody else who can, participate in this marriage ceremony and who can win the hand of my, daughter, or she will remain without marriage only and things like that. Then the chance was given to the Brahmanas. So this side the Kshatriyas were sitting, this side the Brahmanas were sitting. Now Brahmanas they were very happy. Arey, koi to, we are also given chance. And then Arjuna, he was in the ways of Brahmana. So he sees towards Dhaumya Rishi, who are their family priest actually, who was taking care of all the five Pandavas when they were in the exile also. So Dhaumya Rishi says, go ahead like this. And then that time actually Arjuna comes. Then all the Brahmanas, they were taking their kamandalu and they were taking their Angavastra and they were rotating. Yes, yes, yes. Today we will sow. Then some of the Brahmana they were saying that, Are, first let him shoot. Then we will see whether he's going to really win the hand of Draupadi or no, and things like that. Then Arjuna nevertheless goes, picks up the bow and arrow, shoots the arrow actually after concentrating for a long time, and then it exactly goes and pierces the eye of the wooden fish actually, and then that fish comes out actually and falls off on the ground, and then they verify also actually that when the wooden bird fell actually on the ground, that time also actually it was having the arrow in its eye actually, like that. So the Kshatriyas also came for verification, the Brahmanas also came for verification. They verified, and after verification, they confirmed that actually Arjuna is the right person who can win the hand of Draupadi. And meanwhile, Draupadi was just standing only with the garland actually. Immediately, Drupad Maharaj actually garlands, says Draupadi that please garland Arjuna. Arjuna garlands Draupadi, and Pani Grahanam, the hand of Draupadi was given to Arjuna. Immediately, Duryodhana he was saying that, see, this Drupadi has called all the Kshatriyas here actually just to insult all of us. And he has given actually his daughter's hand not in the hand of a Kshatriya but to a Brahman. So he deserves a punishment actually for insulting all of us. And all the Kshatriyas who were participating in the Swayamvara, they also said, yes, it is a great injustice and great misfortune that has come हमारा नाक कटा दिया, like that actually all the Kshatriya they were saying, now we will punish this Drupad actually. So they all went actually in order to punish Drupad Maharaj. But then Yudhishthira Maharaj was sitting there. He was also discussing as Brahman. Before this, actually, when Arjuna was getting up and going to participate that time, Krishna and Balram, they were also participating. So they were also saying, so Krishna says to Balram, they were sitting next to each other, who is this person? He says, Balram says, looks little familiar, but I'm not able to recognize. Because they were there in the exile for a long time and they disguised also themselves properly. But nobody can disguise from Krishna. So then Krishna says to Balramji that actually there are five Pandavas only and he's Arjuna only. And it is destined that actually Arjuna is going to win the hand of Draupadi. So destined means what? Krishna only decided it. So Krishna decided, then Balram smiles, says, okay, no problem. But Balram feels little bad when Duryodhana did not, win the hand. But when the fight was about to begin, that time Krishna and Balram, they justify that yes, this Anulam marriage is allowed. When a Brahmana can marry a Kshatriya girl because Brahma Tejas is more stronger than Chhatra Tejas also like that. So they justify, but then Duryodhana and Karna and these party, they were not satisfied. So they came and attacked. And Duryodhana, that time actually all the Brahmanas, they were saying that, we are there for you to protect, Arjun, because you are, अपने ब्राह्मणों का नाक का, yes, ऊपर में बढ़ाया and things like that. So they were very happy. So they said, we are coming with our Kamandalu, we are coming with our Angavastra to protect you and things like that. Arjun said, don't worry, I'll protect. So then Arjuna sends out volleys of arrows actually, or towards all the Kshatriyas who were coming to hurt Drupad Maharaj. And he did not intend to kill any one of them. None of them got killed, but all of them were actually, they were driven back. So Arjun remembers this particular incident and he says that actually this ability of protecting Drupad Maharaj from all the Kshatriyas put together. See, Duryodhana was there, Dusasan was there, Karna was there, like that so many other were there. Jayadratha was there. All these great warriors were there. They simultaneously attacked actually. But Arjun alone could defeat all of them. And by that time actually Arjuna was not having even Gandiva also. He just fought with that normal, ordinary, bow and arrow only. But he could defeat. But because he knew that it is by the grace of Krishna. So he remembers all these things, and he, with grateful heart, he is crying tears of ecstasy in one sense, in loving separation for Krishna. And then, he goes on telling many, many slokas, and now he comes to this particular place where he was feeling too much separation from Krishna, and he could not even carry out the order of the Lord also, because Lord told that, please protect by 16,108 queens. He could not protect them. When he was shooting the arrows, actually the arrows were falling like that only. So he could recognize that actually this, whatever actually, prowess that I showed, all that was by the grace of Krishna. And now Krishna has withdrawn that power. So what can I do? I'm helpless. But I'm very grateful to Krishna that whatever way he used me in his service, it is eternally beneficial for me. Like that. So gratefully Arjuna remembers these things. So coming to today's purport, in today's translation and purport, Prabhupada says that compatible and incompatible existence of spiritual identity. All these things are there, you know, uh, for the living entity because they materially identify with the materialistic tendencies like that. So here we will discuss actually about the three particular pastimes. One is the story of Yamunacharya. So you all know that Yamunacharya was a small boy, Yamuna boy, and he was a powerful scholar. And at one point of time, this Pandya king, he used to organize debates just like nowadays software company they do organize coding competitions, correct? No, like that. I don't know about medical what they do, but in the software industry they do a lot of coding competitions actually, and they keep a lot of prizes and things like that also. So this Pandey king would organize a lot of debates actually, and whoever will be defeated, by the Brahmanas or Pandey king, actually they will be given severe punishment. And in case if they win over the Brahmanas, then he will appoint that Brahmana as his own, person, and then he will reward them also very heavily. So at one point of time, he hired one particular Brahmin. His name was Kolatunga. This Kolatunga was so powerful scholar that Mother Saraswati would speak from his tongue actually, and nobody will be able to withstand in front of this Kolatunga and his logics and reasons and things like that. But this Yamuna boy, he wanted to challenge this Kolatunga, and he wanted to challenge even Pandya king also. So he goes and challenges, and Yamuna boy says that, I will ask you three questions. And if you can defeat these three questions, I can understand that you are a powerful scholar. And Kolatunga said, "You small boy, you know that just before you, one more Brahmin came actually for having a debate with me, and he was thoroughly defeated actually. And since you are thoroughly defeated, his nose and ears were cut. Can you imagine? And to some Brahmana, the punishment was given that their tongue was also cut. This is how actually the cruel this Kolatunga Brahman became because of his stout scholarship actually. And that led to a lot of pride and things like that. Now Yamuna boy comes and says, okay, big people, they talk big things. But those who are really having real guts, real spiritual strength, real scholarship, they will show it by having actually the right arguments. So I ask you three questions. If you can defeat them, then I'll accept whatever punishment you give me. So then says, okay, tell, what will be your question? Your question will be, did I eat or not? Small boy, what he will ask, more or less about food and things like that only. ठीक है बोलो क्या question है. So then he says, okay, first question was that, you have to prove that the, king is not dharmic, is adharmic. Pandya king is actually he is sinful fellow. He is not a religious fellow like that. And Kolatunga now is in confusion. If he says that king is dharmic, if he says that king is dharmic, then he is not able to defeat. And if he says that king is adharmic, then the king will punish him. So he was confused. He said, what is next question? He said, next question, you have to prove that your mother is a barren mother. No, she doesn't have any child. Barren means actually a lady who doesn't have any children. Kolatunga said, what logic you are saying? I am there standing in front of you as son of my own mother. How you say that actually my mother was barren? He says, you are not able to defeat. He says, okay, what is third question? Third question was that you have to prove that the queen is unchaste. The queen is unchaste. Now again, Kolatunga was in confusion. If he says, queen is unchaste, then queen will be, dissatisfied. If he says the queen is chaste, then he is not able to defeat. So he says, no, queen is chaste. This fellow, what kind of logics and arguments he is giving? He's fully childish. Just take him out and give him punishment. Then King Pandya says, no problem. First, let him say what he wants to see. No, what is the answer to all these arguments that he has given? So he gives argument that the king is himself is very religious personified. He is dharmic. He is not committing any sinful activities, but he shares the 1/6 of the karma of whatever good thing or bad thing actually the citizens they do. So some of the citizens they are breaking the regulatory principles, and that's how actually even the king is also becoming sinful. Then Kolatunga was scratching his head. Okay, okay. And king was saying, good, very good. Then what is the answer to the next question? What was the next question? The mother of this Kolatunga is barren lady. So then he says from Manu Smriti quotes that in case if a mother has only one son, then it is equivalent to she is not having any child only. So in Vedic time, mothers means actually they will have minimum 4, 5, 6, 7 children like that. My own, like we are like four siblings, three of us, like three of our elder brother, sister, and all. Actually, they died before even they took birth like that. My mother had miscarriages and things like that. So seven of us were there actually like that. So generally in the Vedic time, mothers they would have many children actually. Like that you can see in your own family members also. Grandparents, great grandparents actually they are big in number like that. So one child means it is equivalent to barren lady only like that. So that's how the second argument was also fulfilled. The third argument that the queen is actually unchaste. So then he says that actually the king is representative of all the demigods. And since the king is representing all the demigods, he is associating with the queen. That's how she is associating even with all the demigods. So in one sense, the queen is very chaste to the king. But since the king is representative of all the demigods, that's how she is unchaste. And Kolatunga was scratching his head and the queen was also very happy like that. So this King Pandya before this debate only he decided that anybody is able to defeat this arrogant Kolatunga, then to that person actually I will give 50% of my kingdom. And then 50% of the kingdom was given to Yamunacharya. Now Yamunacharya becomes a king. And he starts managing and he's small boy only, but became king actually. He started managing entire kingdom. Eventually gets carried away. He forgets actually the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of spiritual science, whatever was taught by his great grandfather Nath Muni. He forgets completely and completely gets carried away actually by the worldly affairs. In fact, he marries many queens. He starts even intoxication and things like that also. But eventually, one of his grandfather Nathmuni was having lot of compassion for him. He was feeling that he got again entangled in the worldly affairs. Somehow or other, I want that he should be delivered actually from the worldly clutches. So Nathmuni, he empowered one of his disciple, Ramdas, that Ramdas only, right? Yeah. So Ramdas was empowered that you go and serve this Yamuna and then bring him back to Krishna consciousness. He is lost now actually, like that. So this Ramdas goes and he starts cooking actually for Yamunacharya, and he specifically would cook one saag sabji that became favorite of Yamuna. And one fine day actually he did not come. This Ramdas did not come. When Ramdas did not come, that time king inquired, "Where is my favorite dish?" And the cook came and said, "Sir, your favorite dish is not there because the person who used to cook is not available now. He's not coming actually." Then he said, "How dare he is that he is not able to serve his king? King is the representative of all the demigods, and I am his master." Like that, he became very angry. He said, "Bring him at once. I'll give him punishment." So somehow or other they catch this Ramdas, and Ramdas comes actually, and he was about to punish him, but then he says, "Who are you?" He says, "I'm the disciple of the great Nathmuni." Then says, "Nathmuni? He's my great grandfather. How do you know him?" He said, "I'm his disciple." He said, For what purpose you have come?" He said, "Your grandfather has sent me for one particular specific purpose. Since you are king, you are managing worldly affairs. So you need lot of money, you need lot of resources actually. So he has kept the hidden wealth guarded by the seven you know big walls and one particular snake actually. So not immediately Yamunacharya said, yes, I need lot of money actually, I need lot of funds in order to maintain my kingdom. Please take me. So then Yamunacharya and not this Ramdas, actually both of them, they go. But Yamunacharya says, you have to come alone, nobody else should come with you. None of your soldiers, none of your ministers, nobody should come. Then others, they were giving him advice that don't go alone. Something may happen to you and things like that. And then Yamunacharya said, "I am a king. I can protect myself. I can protect my entire citizen, entire army and things like that." Then he goes on the way. Ramdas starts describing Bhagavad Gita, and then Yamunacharya actually starts hearing the Bhagavad Gita message. Then he gets revived actually of the original consciousness, of Krishna consciousness, the bhakti that he was performing previously. Now he comes. By the time they enter into Srirangam, there actually gets the darshan of Lord Ranganath, and Ranganath was actually guarded by the seven walls and one snake, that is Lord Anandadev, and that's how he was guarded and protected. So he gives up his life. He says he doesn't go back only to the kingdom actually, like that. So he got revived of his Krishna consciousness because of hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita. Same thing is happening to Arjuna also here. He also got revived. No, he was lamenting, crying, and things like that in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But after hearing the message of Bhagavad Gita, he became again calm, cool, composed. Same thing was happening. Something similar was happening when Krishna left the world also. But then again, he remembered the message of Bhagavad Gita and he became pacified. So this is what happens. Many compatible things and incompatible things comes within material world, which takes us away from Krishna consciousness. So in the life of Yamunacharya, if you see, what was the compatible thing that came in his life? Kingdom. But before that, one more thing: great scholarship. No, he became competent scholar, and because of that, he got what? Kingdom. That became another compatible thing for him. But then incompatible thing was that he was not able to manage the affairs of the kingdom very properly, and he was wanting more funds. Correct? But he got relieved of all these compatible and incompatible things, materially speaking, when he got revived of the message of Bhagavad Gita. So there is one book called it is written by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur, which describes actually the pastime of Narottam Das Thakur delivering two brothers called Chand Rai and Santosh. So this Chand Rai and Santosh, they were more sinful than even Jagai and Madai also. Because Mahaprabhu has to prove that my devotees are more merciful than me also. So they were more sinful than even Jagai and Madai also. And even the king, the Muslim king, was also fearful of them. So he would not send even his army. In fact, in case if he would send army, so he will catch them, beat them. These two fellows, they'll catch them, beat them, kill them, and they'll take away all their weapons. Next time anybody is coming, they'll kill actually with all those things. So they will every day rape women. They'll every day actually burn somebody's house. Every day they'll catch whoever is the passenger is going on the way. They'll catch him, cut his throat, whatever nose ring or gold or jewels or anything that would be there. Actually, they'll take like that, and they'll just drink. Most of the time, they'll be remaining intoxicated actually like that. So these two brothers, they were creating terror in the life of the nearby devotees, people, everybody actually. So at one point of time, their father was Raghavendra. So this Chandrai, who was elder brother actually, he was haunted by a ghost. And so much so that actually he was going kind of mad. And he was going to different tantrics, different people, but nothing was happening to him. And at one point of time, one of the person, one of the Brahmana, he said that he can be only delivered by Narottam Das Thakur, who is there nearby in the Kheturi Gram. So then, Raghavendra, was the father of Santosh and Chandra, he sends a message to Narottam Das Thakur that please come and deliver my son. So then Narottam Das Thakur, along with Srinivasacharya and, along with Ramchandra Kaviraj, he comes there. So when because Ramchandra Kaviraj was constant associate of Narottam Das Thakur, even though he was disciple of Srinivasacharya. That's why he says, no, Ramchandra Sangha Mange Narottam Das, like that. So this Ramchandra Kaviraj and Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki. So Ramchandra Kaviraj and Narottam Das Thakur, they come to this particular place where Chandra and Santosh, they were there. And this ghost, as soon as he sees the darshan of Narottam Das Thakur, he cries loudly that since many births I have been suffering, now I have caught this fellow, knowing that actually he will come to deliver me. Now please deliver me from this worldly perilous existence that I am suffering from. Narottam Das Thakur actually places both his lotus feet on the head of Chandrai, and the ghost was immediately actually whoop goes out of the body of Chandrai. Chandrai comes to his senses actually, and the ghost. It is said that actually the ghost goes directly back to Godhead like that. That is one version says. The other version says that he got a human form of life. Then he performed devotional service and then went back to Godhead. In any case, he went back to Godhead actually like that. And this Chandra is seeing this effect. Actually, he goes to Narottam Das Thakur in secluded place and he says, "Now you please initiate me." So Narottam Das Thakur, he initiates him chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And he says, don't depend on anything else, just depend on this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra only. This will give you all protection. So Chandrai says, okay, no problem. So he becomes a first class devotee, both Chandrai and Santosh. One particular day, Chandrai thinks that actually I'll go and take bath in Ganga. So he goes for taking bath in Ganga. That time, actually, the Muslim king, previously he was always anxious to catch this fellow and beat him because he took away all the resources, practically all the resources of the king, actually. So the king became very envious. So one fine day when he was taking bath on Ganga and he was doing his Gayatri, that time the king sent many soldiers simultaneously to capture this fellow, this devotee Chandrai. So he comes, catches Chandrai. The king comes actually with many soldiers catches Chandrai and takes him into the prison. And he starts beating him and giving lot of punishment. But Chandrai actually uh, doesn't give up chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Always you are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The more he was beaten, more he was chanting. Constantly he was taking shelter of the holy name. At one point of time, he was put into a prison house which has no door, nothing actually, no outlet, no light, no fan, nothing like that. So Raghavendra, who was the father of Santosh and Chandra, he became very anxious for his son. So he calls out one particular tantric who was a worshipper of Kali, and he sends him out. So this worshipper of Kali actually makes a tunnel from the house of Raghavendra to the house, to the prison, cell where Chandrai was kept. So he goes under the tunnel and then he meets Chandrai and says that you just chant this mantra that is of Mother Kali, and I will take you actually to the tunnel and you will be escaping actually from the jail. He says, I can do anything else except giving up of chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He said, then I will not be able to take out. He says, no problem, let me die here. But I will fulfill the instructions of my spiritual master. My spiritual master told me that I should take shelter of only chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, so I will do that only. So he did that only. Nevertheless, actually, the tantric goes out of the jail, chanting of the mantra, comes and informs Raghavendra. Raghavendra laments like anything. Then next day, actually, the king decides that this fellow now I will kill. So he gives a capital punishment to Chandrai. That in front of everybody, the praja will be called, and there was a special chamber on in which actually one mad elephant was called. And this mad elephant is going to trample, the body of Chandrai. So Chandrai's hands, legs, everything was tied with tight ropes, and he was put on a big platform, and from the other side one mad elephant was sent out. So this mad elephant comes out, he catches the body of Chandrai and takes him out actually of the ropes that he was tied to. And Chandrai did not give up chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So he throws him in one particular corner. Chandrai was lying in that corner. He gets up. Then the mad elephant again charges actually on Chandrai. This time Chandrai catches the trunk of this mad elephant and shakes him like this. When he shook him like this, actually the trunk of the mad elephant only came out. And the mad elephant actually was, a lot of blood was gushing out of his, broken part, and immediately he dies actually then and there itself. The king saw this and the Praja saw this. Everybody was seeing this particular incident and they were completely surprised. Come. The king said, if I put my entire army and they pull with the rope, one side of the elephant, on the other side of the elephant, if it is tied to a wall or something like that, still they will not be able to take out the trunk of the elephant. How come you are able to do it? You are so powerful, so strong. Then he says that actually I am initiated by my spiritual master. He said me that I'll be given all protection by chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. I never gave up. I had the facility of getting out of your jail, but I did not give up chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So then the king says, okay, today onwards you are released, but make sure that you don't trouble me and don't come in between my rule. He says, I will not do anything. I'll just do follow the instructions of my spiritual master. So here also we see that by the grace of the devotees, a person who was haunted by ghosts, performing all sorts of abominable activities, more sinful than even Jagai and Madai, also were delivered by the mercy of Narottam Das Thakur, and specifically his instructions. What are his instructions? Chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra. For Arjuna, what was the instruction? Bhagavad Gita. Correct? And for Chandra, what was the instruction? Chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So, like that, we will also be delivered actually when we are having faith in the instructions of our spiritual master and faithfully chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So, worldly existence will offer many compatible and incompatible things. In case we become puffed up, proud, and getting carried away by our own egoistic behavior, then we will be completely dashed into oblivion actually. That is what we see through the incident of Titanic. If you see the incident of Titanic, it is like, very horrifying in the sense they have written on the ship that a ship that God also cannot sink. And they were so much overconfident that they did not take sufficient number of lifeboats also when they were going. And they were going with high speed. In the night time, actually, they were not supposed to go with the high speed, but they were going with high speed. And when they went with high speed, actually, that particular boat, which was created in the Great Britain that time, uh, it was having a huge deck, and the height of the deck was like very, around 30-40 meters. That much, part of the boat was there, or the ship was there in the water. At one point of time in the evening time, night around midnight, actually it hit the iceberg. The down part of the this particular ship actually broke open, and some of the ice that bursted actually from the iceberg went up on the deck. And these fellows, these rich fellows, they were thinking that it is coming from the top. So they were taking the ice and they were throwing on each other, and they were playing with the ice actually like that. And then the other fellow was catching the ice from his side, and then he was throwing on the other fellow like that. But the crew members, they got to know that actually something has happened. And in order to serve these people, those who came on the this particular ship, 1,000 passengers were there, but 2,000 passengers or 1,500 passengers, crew members were there actually. So for two people, three members were there just to serve them and things. So the crew members who were driving the ship, they got to know that a lot of water is gushing out. Now we cannot, do anything. So then they tried doing actually emergency call. And during those days, actually, it was not mobile phone. It was like, that kind of, we have that landline number, no? So missed call and all will not be seen. So he tried calling, for the emergency help to Great Britain that was nearby only. Not they have not traveled too far actually. So he tried giving an emergency call. He called 3 times. And meanwhile, this fellow who was actually supposed to receive the emergency call, he went actually for passing water or something like that. And this person called 3 times and he thought it is midnight. Then the other person might be sleeping. He did not give once more also call. In case if he would have given one more call, actually they would have picked up the call. But then he did not give call, and the other fellow also did not know because there was no missed call or something like that. That was seen. Then they tried the next thing that they will shoot actually fire signal to the nearby ships that they can come and help. So they shot 7 times, 7 flames they shot, and the nearby ships they saw that actually something is happening. So they thought in case this signal continues for more number of time, then we will go. Otherwise, we think that actually many rich fellows are there; they are all just enjoying and things like that. So they shot 7 times and they thought, I think nobody else is able to see it in midnight 12. Nobody is available. They are also sleeping in the other ships and all. In case if they would have even shot one more shot, then the other ships would have come for their help. But that also did not happen. Then they started sending out people actually on the lifeboats. And in the lifeboat also, these people, those were rich fellows, they were having so much ego that you know a boat which could carry actually 30, 35 people, they were putting 10 or 12 people only on that. That's how actually then many of the people those who are remaining behind, they died actually. So one may become puffed up and proud and thinks that I can do something that even God also cannot defeat me. But of course, this is not the act of God, but know, their own mismanagement or whatever we may say, or their puffed up false ego that led to this kind of calamity. But what we can do in our life is we not get carried away by the this kind of some kind of achievements that we get in during our life, become puffed up, become proud, and then think that the instructions of the spiritual master, instructions of superiors, instructions of Krishna are good for nothing. I can overcome the material existence. Then our situation will be something similar to Titanic. But on the other hand, if we take shelter of the devotee, take shelter of the process of Krishna consciousness, then we will be delivered. As Chandra was delivered by Narottam Das Thakur, as Yamunacharya was delivered by the message of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was delivered by the message of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna personally spoke. Same way, we will also be delivered by the instruction of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. Any quick questions or comments? Any of you have? Today we just discuss more pastimes only. If not, then we'll just end. Time is already 8:30. Thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation, and all most of the devotees came on time for Mangalarti also on time, then for chanting also on time, for the class also on the time. So I'm very grateful for the devotees for your enthusiastic participation. Keep it up like this only every day. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please take prasad.
You told like Arjuna remembered Bhagavad Gita and he was confident enough. Then he did he save the wife of Krishna? Or
No, he could not say.
then what happened?